Hello, everyone. Welcome back here to another episode of Talk Tottenham here with Tom. The match has just finished, probably only about 10 minutes ago. It ended up Leicester 1, Spurs 1. And I've got to say, I'm really disappointed, guys. I know it's only the opening day of the season, of course, but the way that we played in that first half, the number of chances we created, we shouldn't have been even drawing that game. We should have been out of sight. But I don't know what happened in that second half, guys. I've got no idea really. I mean, we just kind of took our foot off the gas, and Leicester gradually kind of got back into the game. Um, and kind of just memories really of last season, if I'm honest, in terms of just not being able to see it out for the full 90 minutes. Um, you know, like I say, it's those consistent 90 minutes performances. That's what we need. And realistically, guys, we haven't really seen too many 90-minute performances from Postecoglou's teams. We normally see just sort of 45 minutes. Like, I don't want to go overboard because it's the opening day of the season. We also got a draw in the opening game last season against Brentford, and we were ecstatic with that because we saw a lot of green shoots. We saw the style of play. I thought in the first half tonight we were absolutely superb. We were brilliant. They couldn't live with us, and Maddison was enjoying his game. I thought Sonny was getting into some really good positions. But in the second half, we just got really flat. We didn't really look like a threat. We couldn't get Son in the game. Brennan Johnson didn't really play well tonight. And I saw a little bit of an improvement when we made those changes with Bergvall especially. He does look like the real deal. Um, but Kulu couldn't really get into it. I know you're only playing sort of 20 minutes there, so I know it's not easy. But yeah, I'm just disappointed, guys, with that one. We've really needed to win tonight. Really difficult to lose to draw these games. What it does mean, obviously, is that we've got a massive game now against Everton at the weekend. We've got to win that one because then we've got a tricky match away at Newcastle, and that will complete August. But if you're looking at tonight, it's so hard to really critically analyze that game, guys, because like I say, we were excellent in that first half. We were really really good. We looked like a threat. God knows how many corners we got. Touches in the penalty area was really good, and we just completely nullified Leicester as well. But 1-0 is a dangerous scoreline, and we didn't seem to kick on. We didn't seem to keep going for the jugular, trying to get goals. And I've always say this with Spurs, guys. I always say, it's not in our DNA to sit back on a 1-0 lead. We never seem to do well with doing that approach. And it's always, to me, it's always the best approach is to keep the foot on the gas and go for the second. But we just didn't do that tonight. So yeah, I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed. I mean, there were some really really good signs in that first half, though. I thought, we've got to talk about Bentancur because he was brilliant in that first half, but I was really really worried about him when he went down in that second half. And at the end of the day, guys, it's just a football match, and it's the player's health that is more important than anything. And yeah, it looked like he was in a lot of trouble, and thank God that he kind of came round, and it looked like he was just sort of concussed. So I probably imagine I can't imagine he'll play against Everton at the weekend, which will be a miss because I do think Bentancur adds a lot to our midfield. Um, and obviously, I thought Maddison in that first half was really really good as well. Solanke was getting on the end of things, which was positive. He probably should have scored, to be fair. Um, yeah, it's. I don't want to go overboard, guys, because like I say, it's the opening day of the season. You know, like they always say, at least we didn't lose. But of course, it's so disappointing when you see us play as well as we did in that first half, just to give back so much control to Leicester in that second half. I mean, it was such a surprise, to be honest. I think for all of us to see, how that game just swung. Um, so it is a little bit concerning, and as I say, it does bring back memories a little bit of last season. But incidentally, last season, most of the time it was the first halves where we were really slow, and it took a half-time team talk from Ange to get us going in again. But obviously this time it was the other way round. I'd like to start seeing us playing for 90 minutes. Um, that's the aim. That's how successful teams play. So yeah, I'm not really too sure what much more I can add, guys, really, to this match report. Obviously disappointed, like I've said a couple of times. You know, really good to see Bergvall and Archie Gray come on in that second half. I thought both of them did quite well. Um, Kulu couldn't really get into the game. Werner, kind of not too convincing, but I don't want to go too overboard on Werner because I think he cops a lot of unfair criticism, to be honest. Um, but yeah, and obviously we saw Jed Spence as well come on, didn't we? Because Porro picked up an injury in that second half, and you know Spence was playing the ball quite nice and easy. You know, even in that last 10 minutes of that game, guys, I still thought there was going to be a winner for us. But you know, if truth be told, kind of ran out of ideas. We didn't really look like we had much of a cutting edge in that second half, which is not a worry, I wouldn't say, on the first day of the season. I know there's a lot of new players playing together, Solanke, obviously Bergvall and Gray. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for the players to get used to each other again. Um, but of course, you know, we wanted the points tonight, didn't we? We wanted the points, and I think just after that first half, couldn't see anything other than a win. So yeah, I think looking ahead to Saturday's game against Everton, obviously, you know, Roddy, will he make it or not? I think with concussing injuries, I think usually they wouldn't they wouldn't rush someone back for the sake of it. So does that mean Basuma comes back in and partners with Sarr? Or would he stick Bergvall in? I don't know. I was really impressed with Bergvall tonight. I'd be quite tempted to throw him in, to be honest, in that game. He looks so assured on the ball. Some really nice touches. Then, of course, he did lose the ball and got an absolute rollicking, didn't he, off Vicario? Um, you know, because it did lead to a chance, actually. Was it Ndidi? His header, really well saved by Vicario. But, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Spurs draw 1-1 away in the first game of the season. Now, you know, drawing away in the Premier League is always okay, you know, especially in the first game of the season. A defeat would have been unthinkable. And, you know, to be fair, with the way that second half was going at times, I think, you know, we were all a little bit worried. Our hearts were in our mouth that Leicester were going to go and score a second. And Vardy had that brilliant chance, didn't he? That one-on-one when he was slipped through. I mean, it really should have been a goal. So yeah, I'm not saying we were lucky not to lose, because I felt we should have won this game. You know, first half alone we should have been 2 or 3-0 up. So we need to be more ruthless. We need to be more clinical this season, and that was a fault that I thought we had at the end of last season as well, that we weren't clinical enough. Guys, our next game is obviously at home to Everton, 3 p.m. on Saturday. You know, so we've got, you know, good number of days rest and preparation before that game. Let's hope Roddy Rodrigo Bentancur is okay, because you know that was like I say, that was a massive concern. We've got to get on the winning board, off to a winning start at home on Saturday. I'll be cheering the boys on. I hope you will too as well. Thanks for watching, and come on, you Spurs.